Hey guys, we are back with some more Wolfsburg Wolves franchise mode, and in this one we have the start of the Year 4 offseason as we got eliminated in the last one by the Dallas Stars. They were just, once Game 5 happened, they just took over from there, and they won 2 overtime games, which if we had won, we would have swept yet another series, but didn't happen, and it went their way more than it went our way in the end, so they obviously won the series in 6. So we are going into the draft here, and we do have a plan, as Bergeron is still on our roster, even though he retired. So, well, actually, maybe not anymore, as I just saw him pop off the screen there. So let's just take a look here. No, I do believe that Bergeron is actually now officially retired, as I do not see him on the stats screen anymore. Let's see contracts. Let's see forwards. Yeah, I don't see Bergeron anymore. So Bergeron is now off the team. So there you go. That's not what I thought was going to happen there. But so that alters my plans a little bit. Because I thought that since I still saw Bergeron after retirement, that meant he was not actually retiring. But apparently he did. So Aho is officially now our second line center unless something else happens here. So we're going to go ahead with the draft here. I'm not going to be making any trades as of right now. We have pick 27, and Billy Legwand was taken. So here we have Quinn Sampson, a left-handed defenseman, defensive defenseman, leadership, balance, and strength are his strengths. And then B- shooting, C, B for physicality, and C for defense. I mean, unless there's someone who's tremendous down here, then I think he's who we'll be taking. Talinder. I mean, he's probably not a medium elite. He's a gem, though. Klebov. Bales. And Barney. Warren Barney. Ooh, Warren Barney, actually. If you know what? We don't have... I don't believe we have a second-round pick. So if we don't trade for one, then Warren Barney might actually not be a bad idea. Samson's got the B-, C, C-, B, and C. And when you compare that to Warren Barney, who is down here, other than the skating, he's around the same. And he's got that medium elite. Yeah, you know what? Warren Barney, welcome to the team. 64 overall as well, so he's not that bad. I don't think it'll take that long, especially with the medium elite, and if he plays in the right position, absolutely. So good pick there, because we are going right to we're going right to round number 4 here. Glad I picked him up. He was the only medium elite in sight there. So we're gonna sort by potential here. Doesn't appear to be any more medium elites. There are a couple low elites though. AJ Bennett, C, C-, D-, D-. Character, work ethic, and completely level are the strengths, and the weaknesses are skating, mobility, and defensive consistency. Pekka Rinus, B- for shooting, C-, D-, D. No strengths, skating, agility, and foot speed are weaknesses for a forward. Okay, very nice. It always seems to be the same things with all these low round draft picks here. So you got 2 low elites there, and then Westcott, Colton Westcott, C, D, D, E, D-, D-. Shot utilization, character, and work ethic are his strengths, and then skating, agility, foot speed, yep, basically all the same stuff. So I think at this point, it's between those 3 in Westcott, Bennett, and Arenas, and I think just because Bennett is a gem, I think we'll honestly take him. Well, I mean, Renas played in a men's league there, so he might actually be better, but at the same time, I don't know if I can ignore the gem. Yeah, we'll take the gem, AJ Bennett there, with our 4th round pick. 48 overall, but he does have the low elite. So we got 2 5th round picks here, and we may as well take those 2, the 1 low elite and then the medium top 6. So we'll take Renas first. Welcome to the Wolfsburg Wolves. And then sim to our next, what's going on? Okay. Something happened there. I have no idea what happened. But something unusual popped up, and that was, I had a mini scare there. So Colton Westcott, yeah, we'll be taking him. Sniper, welcome to the team. 48 overall, very nice. Okay. Round number 6, there's not really a whole ton of options left at this point. Sure, I'll just take the gem. Corey Berard, welcome to the team. 54 overall. We don't even know his potential. We'll sim to round number 7 here. Pretty short draft. As low top 6, medium bottom 6. Really not a whole lot to go off of. Let's see if there's any more gems here. Nothing. Yeah, nothing. At this point, we'll just go by rank, I think. And then we'll select someone who looks semi-promising. Nicholas Hornquist. Sure, he's a grinder. Maybe something can be made out of him. Well, power forward, actually. Regardless, those checkers usually do well. So, welcome to the team. Barney, Bennett, Renas, Westcott, Berard, and Hornquist. Very nice. So, now let's get to the re-sign stage. We are also going to have to re-sign some of our scouts, I believe. So sim to re-sign phase here. Yeah, so go to assign scout, and I'll do this really quick here. Let's see, how many do we have again? I think it was like 5. Yeah, 5 scouts to re-sign. And I'll get Graps back for sure. Off contract. As for the rest of these guys, I'm not going to re-sign Sivan. He's a C. I'm not going to re-sign Holly or Toms. I'll re-sign Bolton. He's got a B. But anything less than a B, I generally like to release. See if there's anything better in the scout free agency. So we'll see what's available for us there come July 1st. And we will get to re-signing the players. So go to contracts. Let's see what we have. So RFAs. Homer needs to be re-signed. And then England, Wood, and Bach. UFAs. Stasny, Tatar, Lucic, Pajot, Steen, Coleman, Eakin, Kampf, Pattern. Okay, so we'll just release anyone who's below an 80 who doesn't want to re-sign. Coleman doesn't want to re-sign. I don't think he had too good of a year, did he? 78 games played, 20 points. Not great at faceoffs. 89 hits. Not great with the ratio, so I have no problem with releasing Coleman here. Now, Steen doesn't want to re-sign, but I would like to get him back, as at 38 years of age, he really did not do too shabby at all. Had a good ratio there, 51 to 39. He wasn't as physical as he normally is there. 42 hits this year as compared to 100 over the past 3 seasons. He wasn't really a face-off taker for us, but he had 44 points on the season, so I'd like to see if I could re-sign Steen. He wants 2.1. I'll let him walk to free agency, but he's definitely someone who I want to remember, so I'm actually going to write Steen down here. There you go. And I'll release him free agency for now, but we're going to see if we could go back after him in free agency. And then Lucic. Tatar doesn't want to re-sign. How did he do last year? 31 points on the third line. No power play time. 91 hits. Decent turnover rate. I mean, he's not that bad, but I don't think he's worth overpaying for. He wants 2.9 in 3 years. I'll write Tatar down as well, because he was pretty solid for us in the playoffs and in the regular season. But if there's someone better, then I wouldn't be opposed to getting them, as opposed to Tatar. Stasny. Now, I actually had Stasny as one of the players who I thought I was going to release, just given that Bergeron was still on the roster after the retirements thing, but once the draft started, of course, he wasn't. So I think for the right price, I would definitely bring Stasny back. Let's see how much he wants. 2.2 for 2 years. How much does Pajot want? He doesn't even want a mil. So Pajot actually might not be a bad bet there, as he was pretty solid in the games that he played. He was over 50% on faceoffs. He didn't have too many hits, but he was decent. He had a decent ratio, 13 points in 29 games played. And then the playoffs, he wasn't too shabby either with the faceoffs, 58.14%. Three takeaways, no giveaways. So Pajot definitely gives more bang for his buck. And he's younger than Stasny. So, I'll release Stasny for right now. We'll see what's in free agency. But Pajot definitely wouldn't be a bad one to sign just for the price of his contract. So, yeah, there you go. Offer that to him. Lucic, how much does he want? He wants 1.2. For what Lucic brings, 1.2 isn't that bad. His takeaway to giveaway ratio isn't terrible. Gets 120 hits per season. 27 points on the year last year in the regular season. Let's see, actually, how did he do in the playoffs? 2 points. How many hits? Only 11 hits for Lucic. He didn't have a terrible ratio there. I mean, that's pretty cheap. I'll give him 1 year for 1.2. See what he thinks of that. Eakin, how much does he want? He wants 1.9. No, you know what? Pajot is making 1 mil less than Eakin at a higher overall. And Eakin's more of a, I would say, replacement player. So I'm not giving 2 mil to Eakin. No, thank you. I'll just release him. Kampf, if he wants a two-way, nope. Release. Alsner, if he want, well, actually, I don't think I'll give Alsner a contract, even though he wants a two-way, because he's got the AHL top 2. I'd rather let a prospect play there in his spot. Graovac, if he wants a two-way, I'll sign him. Yep, there you go. Quinn, same thing. There you go. And Walker, same thing as well. Yep, there you go. Okay. So UFAs are pretty much taken care of, other than goaltenders. So, Schneider. With the fantastic season that he had and the fantastic playoffs, he is up to an 87 overall. So even if that's just trade bait, yeah, he's definitely getting signed. Now he wants 3.9. I believe that's actually, yeah, that's less than what we had him for last year. So an 87 overall Schneider for 1 year. I'm going to say, yeah, 4 mil. Yes, please. Yes, please. Now, Dell doesn't want to re-sign. He was solid for us last year, so as a backup goaltender, so I'm going to write him down as well. But he's definitely not worth overpaying. So I will release Dell to free agency for right now. And then Wedgwood, if he wants a two-way deal, no. Releasing him right away. Same thing with Barra. There you go. So UFAs are now taken care of. RFAs. Bach, definitely want to re-sign him. The German, there you go. Kyle Wood, if he wants a two-way. Yep. England, if he wants a two-way. Nope. Releasing you. He doesn't have any trade value to me. And then Maddox Homer. Now let's see actually if there's any goaltender RFAs. No, so it's just Homer at this point. How much cap do we have? 26 mil. Yeah, we have a lot. So we should be able to re-sign it. Yeah. Homer's fine. He wants 6 years for 6 mil. He had 36 points last year in the regular season, so pretty underwhelming for him. Now, I don't know whether to attribute that to his line mates or to him specifically, but he did have a pretty physical year there. He did have a good year in terms of defense. He had a better ratio than he had last year. Less average ice time as well. Only 15 goals, but he is a part of the future here in Wolfsburg. He had 10 points in the playoffs last year in 10 games. He was really the catalyst, along with Bergeron, especially when Artemi Panarin was out. And even when Artemi Panarin was in, Panarin didn't really do too much in the playoffs. So Homer definitely deserves this contract extension, but it's just a matter of how long do I want to sign him for, because if I sign him to 2 years, then he could still be an RFA, get him a bridge contract there, but then he would want likely more during his next contract. So if I gave him, let's just say 8 years here, because we're already in year number 4, right? So even if we gave him 6 years, that would take him the entire length of the GM mode. He wants 6 years. I was contemplating giving him 8, but I'm actually going to give him 7, because that would be on the same contract length as Alexander Kuleshov, who is currently on a 7-year contract. So we'll give Homer 6.4 for 7 years. There you go. That's a good deal for him. He's a stud. He deserves that. Especially for the recent playoff success he's had. And I believe that is it. Now, as for unsigned players, You have Barney, you have Hornqvist, Renas, pretty much all of our draft picks from this past season, or for this past draft. I don't think I'm going to sign any of them. I'm not going to sign Barney just because I kind of want him to play in the U.S. League instead of the AHL because I feel like he'll develop more there. So we will now make sure we have everyone signed, and presuming we do, we'll go ahead to July 1st. So is that everyone? Your phase? None. Very nice. Our phase? None. Very nice. We are good to go for free agency, so let's get there right now. Okay, so before we go into free agency, let's do a review of the roster to see what we need. So we have Jones, Kuleshov, Hamilton, Brodin, Myers, and DeHaan, and then Virtanen as our 7th defenseman. And then Kondratek is coming up, Bolarai coming up, Barney's coming up. I think we're fine defensively. I didn't have a problem with the defensive core last year, so we're good to go there. Goaltenders would be Schneider, and we need a backup goaltender for sure. Maybe even another goaltender for the minors there instead of Benzing. So we need a goaltender, which might end up being Dell. But still, you never know who's available. If there's a young guy there who is elite, then I definitely wouldn't mind going after them, as we haven't had much luck with goaltenders in the draft as of right now. We only have, I believe it's Rodin. Yeah, 58 overall as well, so he's going to take a while. And then defensively, we're good. Forward-wise, we have Panarin. I'm just going to write out the lines the way I see them. Panarin, Point, and then I'm going to say Homer makes the jump to the first line this year. Even if he's not ready, I think we need another right winger for the top 6. So it'd be Panarin, Point, Homer. Then the second line could be Sheary, Aho, and then blank. So I think we need a second or borderline first line right winger so that we can switch them back and forth with Homer if needed. If Homer's ready for the second, if Homer is ready for the first line, they'll play on the second line. If not, then Homer will play on the second line, and whatever player we get will be on the first line. And then the third line could be Furland, along with, Mayer. Todd Mayer's an 81 now, so he'll definitely get the chance. And Lucic, I want Lucic on the fourth line, no matter what. He just kind of belongs there. And then Pajot. I think Pajot would be our fourth liner center. So we need a third line center. I think the mayor here will get the opportunity on the third line with Furland, just because he's already an 81 overall. That could be a third line scorer by the start of next season. And I know it says fourth line right now, but by the start of next season, that might be higher than that. And then let's see who is left here. I don't think anyone actually. So as I said, I wouldn't mind getting Steen back for the fourth line, since he seemed to do well there last year. So I'll just write Steen on here for right now. So we need a third line center. If there's anyone better than Stasny there, we'll definitely go after them, because we have a lot of cap space at the moment. And then a second line right winger. That is mainly what we need out of this free agency. I would say the third line center should be a solid two-way guy who can also get offense. And then the right winger, Aho. Sheary is more the playmaker. Aho is more of a goal scorer, power forward. So maybe get a defensive guy to play along with them, or maybe a sniper as well. But I don't know. I feel like Aho could be the sniper for that second line, given that he had 25 goals last year. So if we could find a defensive center for the third line who also plays offense, and the same thing for the second line right winger, a defensive winger who also gets offense, that'd be ideal. So that's what we're looking for going into this free agency. So let's see who is available. As far as goaltenders go, that's what I'm going to look at first. We have Leonard, Grubauer. Grubauer's back here again. I don't know if I want to get him, though. He wasn't too good when he was with us, and he wants almost $4 million, so no thank you. Subban, nope. Bernier, nope. Markstrom, Fleury, Dubnyk, Smith, Reimer. Yeah, you know what? I don't see any young guys who look too promising here, so we'll just go after Dell again. He wants 1.9 for 2 years. I'll give him 1 year at... I wouldn't say anyone's going to be going after Dell, so I think I could lowball him here a little bit. I'll go 1.85 for Aaron Dell. And then we're going after forwards here. So Radulov, Kerfoot, Perron, Brassard might not be a bad idea for the third line. He's an 84 overall, 34 years of age, 41 points last year. Was he good defensively? Yeah, he was. Oh, he was. He had 135 hits as well. Good at faceoffs. Brassard might be a good idea to replace Bergeron as that veteran center. That could be a very good idea. Oh my god, dude. The amount of interruptions. Whatever. Anyway, I think we were on Brassard. He played the forward line 3 last year. He also played penalty kill, which would have been Bergeron's role this year if he had stayed one more year. So I like Brassard here. I think he'd be a good pickup for this team. He had 41 points last year. He had a very good ratio. He hits consistently as well. Over 50% on faceoffs. I looked at Kerfoot, and he's just not the same as Brassard. Under 50% of faceoffs, not a hitter. He's good defensively with the turnovers. And he obviously gets points as well, but he is not as versatile as Brassard, who obviously is older, but provides a greater amount of help to the team for a lot less money as well, for less term. So we're going to offer Brassard. I would say I'll go up to $5 million for Brassard for 1 year. I don't want him for 2 years just because he's at that age where he could drop off at any moment. So I'll go 5.2 for 1 year for Brassard. And then the next one I was looking at, either Radulov or Perron. Both of these guys are good at what they do. 61 points last year for Perron. He's a shooter as well, 208 shots. 20 points on the power play. He's not a face-off taker, obviously, but that's what we're getting Brassard for. And hits, he had 151 hits, so he lays the body consistently as well. Good takeaway to giveaway ratio. 34 years of age. And then Radulov. He wants nearly double the money as Perron. But what we saw he did last year offensively for, I believe it was the Kings, 82 points, 29 goals. And we talked about how when Panarin got injured, the lack of star power on this team shows when that happens. So I think Radulov would be a very good pickup for this team. And I know we've gotten a lot of our players from free agency, but we're at the point now where we're picking up players like Radulov from free agency, and Brassard is a smart move because we are literally right there. We got the defensive core now. We have a good goaltender in Corey Schneider, who granted probably won't be around here for much longer, but he did go up to an 87 this year. He was phenomenal. And I know, again, that 87 isn't going to be a permanent raise, so maybe we think about trading him for a younger goaltender at some point. But the way the team is constructed right now, we are set to make a run in the playoffs this upcoming year. So I think Radulov would be a very good add, as would Perron. I mean, they both serve fairly similar purposes. They could both play the right wing. But Radulov would be, I believe, that slight edge that we need in the playoffs potentially to get to the Stanley Cup. And when you take a look at Radulov's playoff stats, he's clearly been to the Stanley Cup final before based off his games played. And he not only did that, but he excelled there too. 23 points, 20 points this year. Well, not this past year, but the last year that he was in the playoffs, he had 20 points in 24 games. I'm going to guess with the Stars. And yeah, he's just all around a solid player. We didn't get him in the trade at the trade deadline last year, but we're going to be going after him in free agency this year. Again, another situation where I'm not going to go more than 1 year because guys older than 33 are kind of, in terms of how they drop, of how quickly they could potentially drop as well. And given that the exact elite there isn't exact, if that makes sense, since it's only a 3-bar, we don't know if that's an exact elite. He could be a top 6. I'm not going to take the risk of signing him for more than 1 year. We're going to go 8. You know what? Since he's Radulov, I'll give him 8.6 for 1 year. We have the cap to do it, so I'm going to do it. So we've gone after Brassard, Radulov, and now we are going to go after Alexander Steen once again. It's $2.3 million for a third-line forward, and he's going to be playing on our fourth line, unless Mayer's not ready for the third line, but I'm pretty sure he will be after the jump during the offseason, and he proved to be very solid. He proved, at least so far, that age is just a number. So we're going to re-sign Alex Steen here. We're not going to go after Stasny. We're already going after Dark Brassard. So we'll give Steen 2.6 for 1 year. I believe that's what he was on last year, actually. So, in terms of prospects, I don't believe there's any. I don't really see a whole lot in this game compared to games in the past where computers would just let their prospects go. Yeah, I mean, you have this guy here whose name I'm not even going to bother trying to pronounce, but we don't know if that's an exact elite. Same thing with Jackson. We don't know if that's in a medium top 6. I'm just not going to bother with that. So we've made our free agency moves. Radulov, Brassard, Steen, and Dell. That's who we're going after. And now what we'll do is we'll see if there are any scouts available. Now, I probably should have written down which scouts got released. So now I'm going to have to sift through all this, see what we need. We're good for the USA. We're good for Canada. We need one AHL scout for the other Eastern division for the AHL. I don't know what it's called. I think it's the AHL North. Yeah, AHL North. So we need one for AHL North. We're good for the NHL. So one AHL North, and then I would say 2 European scouts, because you have one for SHL, one for Liga. So that covers Scandinavia. Then you have one B minus. We have one B for Russia, and then a B for the Dell. So yeah, 2 European scouts and 1 AHL North scout. So let's see what we have available for us here. Come on now, this screen is so slow. All right, so you got a Russian scout actually right there, and there's an AHL scout right here, Philip Coty. Let's see, how is he in AHL North? Yeah, he's got an A+ there, so we'll definitely go after Filipe Coty for 5 years. There you go. And now, European scouts. Now, Viktor Volkov, he's good in Russia, and he's good in NLA. He's good in the rest of the world. Not that we're really going to be scouting the rest of the world. We'll start by Europe here. So you have Patrick Dvorak, who's good in all of Europe, so we'll definitely be going after him. There you go. And there's not really too much after that. You have Kretschmann. That sounds German. That totally sounds German. You know what? Just because of that, I'm going to go after Christopher Kretschmann as well. There you go. So there is our 3 scouts for this offseason. Let's hope they all sign. I wouldn't imagine they wouldn't. I haven't had too many scouts that haven't signed. As a matter of fact, I don't think I've failed signing any scouts in NHL 19 yet. Just because I don't play with budget on, so, it's not really too big of a deal how much salary I offer them, I guess. But, yeah, hopefully we get all the players we want. We get all the scouts we want. And then after that, we will simulate ahead to the start of year number 5, I believe it is. So let's see what we get here. There's Coty, very nice. There's Dvorak, and there is Kretschmann, very nice. Now, players. Brassard accepted, Steen accepted, Dell accepted, and Radulov accepted. There you go, we got all of them. And Dahan, I'm not trading him. I like the defense the way it is. So that'll be about it for free agency. Let's get ahead to year number 5. All right, so we are at the start of year number 5. Let's check out our roster, see the growth that has happened. And Kuleshov is on the team leader in points. And I believe at the start of the season anyway, it always shows the highest overall on the team. So yeah, Kuleshov's now an 89. So he's officially, I believe, a top 2 defenseman. It's good growth for Alex Kuleshov. Let's go by 4s here first, though. So Panarin. Radulov's an 87. That's good. Homer is an 85. He might be a borderline first liner at that point. So we'll see what happens with him. And then Braden Point, 85. Aho, 85 as well. He's definitely at least a second liner. Brassard, 83. Very nice. Mayer, 83. Yep, that's what I figured. So he will definitely be on the third line this year with Furland. Shiri, 82. He'll be on the second line. Pajot, 80. Lucic, 80. Steen, 79. I kind of figured that, but Steen was very solid for us last year at 80 overall, so why not give him another shot? And then defensively, not going to have Wood. You have Jones, Kuleshov, Hamilton, Brodin, Myers, and DeHaan. And then Virtanen is a 78. So not too much growth from last year, but a little bit. He had 35 points last year in the AHL. We'll see what happens with Virtanen. Kondratek's up to a 74. That's good. Bolarai, 65. Let's see forwards in the minors here. Quinn, I really only care about prospects here. Williams is up to a 73. Bach is up to a 72. Did he grow at all last year? I don't know. I feel like he was a 72 last year as well. Slow growth for Dominic Bach. Williams is 21. He's a 73, so he's looking kind of promising. But Bach's close to being 23, I believe, because he was 22 last season too. So, geez. And then Devin Turco is 65 at 19 years of age, so he saw some good growth. He was a 62 last we checked. Now, goaltenders. Benzing is 70. Yeah, we'll definitely have to go after an AHL goaltender here for the starter down there. Corey Schneider is now an 85, so he didn't retain that 87 that he had at the end of last season, but he's still better than he was last year. So hopefully he has another good year. If not, we can always trade him. That's a very tradable contract at a tradable overall. So, but as we're going to ride Schneider as long as we can because he's proved to be very good for us so far. So let's go to the lines, see what the computer does. So it has Panarin, Aho, Radulov, Mayer, Point, Homer, Shiri, Brassard, Furland, Lucic, Pajot, Steen, and then on defense it has Kuleshov, Jones, Brodin, Hamilton. Yeah, defense it got right. Forwards not. I'm going to put Aho on the second line. Homer on the first. I want to see how he does there. So it'd be Shiri, Aho, Radulov, and then Panarin, Point, Homer, Mayer, Brassard, and Furland, and then Lucic, Pajot, and Steen. That's looking good. Power play. Panarin, Panarin, Point, Homer. We'll pretty much go with the 5-on-5 lines here. Aho, Radulov, and yeah, I guess Shiri. Yeah, Shiri. For sure. And then Hamilton, Myers, Jones, Kuleshov. Jones and Kuleshov are fine there. I want to get Steen back on the power play. He was very good for us last year in general. So we'll get him back on here with Hamilton. We'll flip them. Do the same thing here. Hamilton, instead of Myers, I'll have Brodin. So that'll be Aho and Panarin, or Point and Panarin, and then Aho and Homer instead of Radulov. Then penalty kill, let's see, Brassard, yeah, I don't mind Brassard on the penalty kill. Furland, yep. Steen, is there anyone better we have? Yeah, you know what, Homer. Brassard and Homer, and then Aho and Furland. Then Myers and Brodin, Kuleshov, Jones. I'm going to have Brodin with Jones, and then is there anyone better than Kuleshov? No, I guess I'll have Kuleshov with Myers. And then same thing here. And then it'll be Brassard and Aho on the 3-on-3. Or 3-man penalty kill. And then the 4-on-4 will be Panarin, Point, Jones and Kuleshov. That looks good to me. Aho, Radulov, Hamilton, and Brodin. That looks good as well. And then we'll have Homer, I guess, yeah. Homer with Brassard sounds good with Myers and DeHaan. 3-on-3. Let's see. Panarin, Point, Jones. Nope. Point, Panarin, and Kuleshov. I want a lefty there. Then Aho, Radulov, and Jones. Hamilton, Homer, Brassard. Yeah, that all looks good to me. Extra attackers will be Point and Aho. And then shootout. Yeah, Panarin, Radulov, Point, Homer, Kuleshov. That looks good to me. Schneider and Dell in goal. Virtanen is the scratch at the moment. Then you know what? Instead of playing Virtanen as a scratch, I'd rather send him down to the minors and call up a veteran defenseman from the minors. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to call up Wood and send down Virtanen until we know his exact role, at the very least. And then in terms of forwards, for an injury replacement for right now, we'll go with Quinn. I just don't want any prospects playing up in the NHL if they can't. I'd rather not rush them. And then as far as goaltenders, Schneider and Dell, yeah, we're definitely going to have to sign a couple of AHL goaltenders here. So I'm actually going to write that down now so I don't forget. AHL goalies. And then defensemen, I'd say the AHL needs, let's see, they have Virtanen, Kondratek, Dersh, Bolaris, Wolf. I would say only Bolaris, Kondratek, and Virtanen are going to be playing. So Virtanen is a righty, right? Yep, and same thing with Kondratek, and Bolaris is a lefty. So we need 2 left-handed defensemen for the AHL and 1 righty. And then for forwards, see Grayovac, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Morozov, we can go without him. Voloshenko, he's not turning out to be much. We can go without him. Turco, definitely want him playing, so that's, what, 7. 8 is Turco. You need 4 forwards for the AHL as well. Okay, so that's all done for sorting out the AHL. And we might try to find a couple of backup NHL players as well instead of Wood and what's his name? And Quinn. Okay, so these are all the skaters I've gone after for the AHL. Dominic Mason, Zach Whitecloud, and Curtis McDermott on the back end. And then for forwards, we have Damian Riot, Michael McCarron, Daniel Carr, and Radel Fazleev. And then as far as the goaltenders go, we have Dansk and Lindgren, 78 and 77. And then I do want to go after as well a couple of backup NHL forwards instead of Quinn and Wood. Okay, so one thing important to note here is that we don't have a whole lot of cap space left, 2.1 remaining, so we really have to be careful with whatever backup players we get. And we're going to be trading 2/3 to Edmonton for Connor Brown. And we're going to try to retain as much salary as we can from Brown here, as it's just kind of what we need to do in order to stay under the cap. So proposed trade, 2/3 for Brown. Looks good on surface, but we do not want to keep the amount of salary you're asking us to. So we'll see if they can retain 35% here. Proposed trade, rejected. Okay, I really don't want to go down too much here. I'll go down below 1 mil. And I'll keep the 2/3 on there. Proposed trade, rejected still. So, you know what? I mean, okay, so I'll take off the retained salary. 1 mil isn't that bad for Brown, especially given he's an 81 overall. But I'm definitely not giving up 2/3 for that. I'll give you a 1/3 for Brown. No, how about... I don't want to give a second. I'll give a 1/3 and a 1/4 for next year. How's that? Rejected. Too far off. About a 1/3 and a prospect. You know, I don't think we'll be using Bennett. He's a 48. I know he's a low elite, but he's a 5'9" defenseman. 48 overall. We really don't need him. A 1/3 and Bennett for Brown. Yeah, that's a little much on their favor. So try to get something back here. Maybe let's try to get our own 4th back here. So a 1/3 and Bennett for Brown and a 4th. That's still kind of tipped in their favor. Get another 4th back. 2 4s and Brown for a 1/3 and Bennett. Trade accepted. There you go. Okay. Didn't want to get another 1/3 back because I figured, we're sending a 1/3 there. Wouldn't make too much sense to just flip 1/3s. Especially since we don't know how far of a difference it's going to be between us and Edmonton at the end of the season. So, first trade is done. Now let's try to get a defenseman. Alright, so here's a guy right here on Pittsburgh, Christian Fallen. He is 31 years of age, 78 overall, and pretty much the minimum salary at 1 year, so he will not be expensive at all to get. And we don't even have to bother about retaining any salary because it's pretty much the minimum. We're going to see if we could get Fallen here for a 7th. See, rejected. Okay, how about a 6th? Proposed trade. Rejected still. Okay, how about a 6th for next year and a 7th for this year? Really? Well, I don't want to give up too much for Fallen, because you can really get that kind of defenseman almost anywhere. I'll go 5th for next year. Rejected. I'm not going to push too much further here for Fallen. 5th and the 7th. Rejected. You know what? Voloshenko is going to be playing, and they want Voloshenko, so I'll give them him. And I guess a 7th for next year. We'll see if that'll work for them. Still not. 2 7ths in Voloshenko. Proposed trade. Still too far off for Christian Fallen. Voloshenko in the 6th. There you go. So Voloshenko in his 6th works out. Let's actually see if we can sneak a 7th on there, because why not? No, okay. Voloshenko in his 6th for Fallen. There you go. Very nice. So hopefully we don't have that roster glitch here where we're going to have to... where we can't move people around. But it appears not, so that's good. Brown and Fallen will be our replacement players. And let's go to the lines once more, just to make sure everything's still good to go. We'll fill out the roster here in the AHL until all the AHL players sign. And I didn't want to do best lines because I want to leave Brown and Fallen scratched. So there you go. There is your year number 5 roster for the Wolfsburg Wolves. Now, it's already been a fairly long video, so we'll do the preseason and all that in the next episode. So we'll call it a video here. With that, I'll see you guys in the next one when we start year number 5.